Alright, how's it going? I'm supposed to be doing stuff for aluminum, but it has been hot and humid and nasty here for the last couple days, so I have literally gotten nothing done. But I had a request today to do a video on Bumble Bees from GT, which I have had out here for quite a while, making me honey. And I realized that when I did them in the video earlier in the series that I really didn't cover them that much. But I also don't have enough real knowledge of the bumblebees to do an out and out tutorial. So this is what you guys are going to get. Is a video explaining what I know of them and what other people that have dealt with them have to say about them. So first off, bumblebees can be found out in the wild. You will find these bumble hives that will look just like this. Bumblebees have to be under something, so you will usually find them in the side of hills or something like that. There are rock versions. I can't remember if I have one down here in the cave or not. I honestly don't worry too much about them. I was thinking I had one here, but I guess not. I seen one somewhere the other day. I'll grab it next time I see it. But basically, you'll find those. I found these two that I have, well, three, right outside. But you will need a scoop, and then you can collect it. Now, when you collect the wild one, you will get the bumble hive back. That is important because it's needed to make the bumbleary, along with 2 steel or iron screws, a screwdriver, and 5 treated planks. So you will have to have a coke oven to get your treated stuff. You can make the scoop out of just about any material. It's just rods and wool. So any metal rods or sticks will do, and then a hammer and a wire cutter to make it. I just use these cheap willow sticks that I have all kinds of around here to make mine. So other than that, you will also get princess and drones. Now, if you're interested in actually trying to breed up your bees, don't think of this as like forestry bees where you can get materials from them. There is a very limited amount of things you can get from bees. And bee breeding is very different than forestry. But if you're interested in breeding them, keep note of how many drones you get and how many of the combs you get. Because if I'm remembering correctly, the amount of combs that you get out of it is how much productivity that bee will have, and the amount of drones you get is equal to the birth rate of it. So that's how many drones you're going to get every cycle. So let me put this on. This is my bee suit. So you'll look like a bee. And I'll, let's see, where's the F5? There you go. So it's Bumble Bear. And this is needed for getting in and out of your bumblearies without getting stung. They will sting you if you come in their area, and they will sting you when you open the bumbleary if you don't have the bee suit on. So you can see in here that I have 3 captive drones up here. I have a captive queen. I have a wild drone down here, and I have dead wild, and a captive. Now, captive is a different version from the wild. So right now, I actually have bred up to captive, if I remember these correctly. So let's look up Bumbles. So you start with a wild, which is what I had, and then you have captive is the next level, and then after that you have common. Now, I don't actually know how to breed these other than you put them in here and they breed themselves. There is certain things that you breed together, just like forestry, but I tend to not want to know exactly what they are. If you're interested in exactly what you need to mix together, go search the changelog, because Greg actually hides it in the changelog on what you have to do to breed them together. But I'm kind of guessing that I have to mix the wild with something else to get to common, so the captive is probably all I'm going to end up getting out of this, which that is in the larva area. So I can actually take these guys when they're done and move them in. I can't move them right now. I can remove the dead ones, but the dead ones are kind of useless, so it doesn't really matter. And I can take out the bees. So you have to actually catch them, as far as I know, when they're actually in their breeding cycle to get them out. Unlike, oh, wait a minute. Let me try something. It's been a while since I've messed with these guys. Maybe I actually have to have this scoop. Let's see. Oh, no, yeah, I still can't take it out. Didn't think so. But Greg will tell me if I'm wrong with any of this, and if he does, I'll let you know. I don't do a whole lot with the Bumbles, and this is where I will tell you two other people's opinions. I talked to Net MC, which is our bee extraordinaire in the group, and he says, when I asked him if he would be interested in trying to breed them to make a tutorial for you guys, he said there is very little that you get out of them and way too much work and way too much randomness, because bees can breed up and down. They cannot, like forestry bees, once you make a bee breed, that bee will always be that or a better mutation. Well, in Greg's bees, they can go back down. So if I start breeding these captives in with this captive queen, she'll be a princess at the time, they could go back to being wilds. Or because I'm breeding a captive queen with wilds, she could become a wild again and lose the captive trait. And that's the same with any of the other ones. They can go up and down in the genetics. So it makes it more random on if you're going to get what you're looking for. You also cannot automate these. There is a special Bumbleberry, which is the advanced Bumbleberry, that you can automate a little bit more. But this one is... Now see, that says use scoop to extract Bumble Bees. I thought so. Let's try this again. Maybe I actually have to have it in my hand. See, read the tooltips, folks. It helps. Alright, so... see, it has to be in my hand. So I can take those out and put those in, and we'll see if we get any different next time I check. Okay, so the other person I discussed it with was XAR, or Xarxes. He tried breeding these on our last server, and he had hot ones, he had nether ones, he had regular wild ones, and he really couldn't get them to breed in any productive way. So he basically had the same opinion of, meh, who cares? And my opinion has always been on the bumblebees. They are absolutely great for honey, and that's about it. Now, the reason why I say they're great for honey is because honey will give you speed. And when you juice it or squeeze it, you get honey, and then you can drink the honey, and it gives you speed. So it's really nice for that. And for me, that's the main thing I use it for. Now, there is other things that you can get from the bumbles. If we go to combs, all of these down here are the GregTech combs. And you can get from a regular honeycomb, you get a chance of propolis if you have forestry, you have beeswax, and you get honey. And you get 100 liters of honey per comb. Now, honey is actually great not only for the speed that you can get, but you can also use it if you want to analyze your bees. You can turn it into honey drops if you have forestry, but you can also use it in fermenting for making biomass. So, like, this is oatmeal with 120 honey, so a little bit more than one comb worth will give me 360 liters of biomass. Now, if we look at that same thing with water, it would only give me 120 liters of biomass. So that's a heck of a boost from 120 to 360 for the same amount of solid just by using honey instead of water. So it might be very useful because those bees just sit there and rotate automatically. I don't have to come out here and mess with them, which I shouldn't be messing with them right now because I took off the suit. You can just come out every now and then and grab a bunch of honeycombs. I haven't had them out there that long, and I've got a whole bunch of combs. And like I said, you can also make that advanced bumbleberry, and it can actually be automated to get the honeycombs out of it. But that's a little more advanced to get to that. So you also have water combs. If you're lucky enough to find a water bee, usually find these around rivers or ocean. If you look in the beaches, sometimes you can find them. So if you want to live somewhere that isn't close to a river and you want infinite water, you can use water combs. It gives you 1,000 liters or 1 bucket's worth of water for every comb. No honey, and you still get your beeswax. Magic combs, I don't believe you can get these without a magic mod. But if you do have that or can get them, you get magic wax and ambrosia. This is the only way that I know of to get ambrosia without a magic mod, which makes medicine. So you can mix honeydew and royal jelly. You can mix, yeah. And I don't know of a way of getting actual royal jelly other than right there, a royal comb, which I'm sure you have to breed up to get, because I don't know any bee that gives them. There is the nether comb, which does not give lava. It gives blazing goo, 144 liters, which is blaze powder. So if you can find a way of getting this solidified, you might be able to make blaze powder from it. You have end combs, which gives you dragon's breath, which, unless you're going to make lingering potions, is kind of useless. That's about its only real use that I know of, is for lingering potions. And you have a 10% chance at pulsating propolis. Again, you have to have forestry to get that. And with this one, you get a little bit of endstone dust. So, at least with the endstone dust, you have actually a 6.25% chance at getting platinum from that. So that's about the only, and tungsten trioxide. So ender bees might be a good choice, but make sure you got a bee suit, because I'm quite sure they'll kick you in the butt. And then you also get hydrogen, deuterium, nitrogen dioxide, helium-3, helium, and CO2. So NBs might be a halfway decent idea. Your rock combs will give you stone dust and wet cement, wet concrete. So if you want to build a huge place out of concrete, well, there you go. There's all the concrete you'd ever need. Jungle combs, if you're a chocolate lover, you'll love them. They give you molten chocolate, enough to pour one chocolate bar. A little bit of silky propolis if you have forestry, and cocoa powder. Frozen combs are going to give you crushed ice and a little bit of crushed ice. So crushed ice all around. Great for your martinis. Shroomy combs, I think you can only get these in a mushroom biome. So if you're lucky enough to find one of those, you can get 60% of 2 mushrooms and mushroom stew, 1 bucket's worth. Sandy combs, these are your desert bees. We'll give you cactus water, 100 liters of that, which is also good for using for biomass, and a bit of sand, which I guess technically you can get silicon and oxygen from your sand too. Clay bees, which gives you a 20% chance at any of the different colored clays, which gives you a bit of material that you can get from each one of those. So you have like sodium, potassium. I'm trying to remember all of the different magnesium from that one. I think this one's alumnia. Where is the electrolyzer? Up here. Not sure why this one has so many. Oh, wait a minute. This one actually has to be... No, that's the wrong recipe. Where is the generifier? Canning machine. Yeah, that just turns into dry clay. Huh, I'm kind of confused at where the recipe is for the KO light powder, because I swore we had one when I originally checked out all of the new clays. I'll have to talk to Greg about that one. This one I don't even... That's the blue one. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Hate it when that happens. So the blue one, electrolyzer, that's the magnesium one. I guess I already did that one. Bentonite, That gives you sodium hydroxide. So all kinds of different stuff you can get from them. If you can get clay bees, I've never seen them, so I have no idea where you even get those. If there's something that you have to creative builder, yeah, those are ones that you have to breed to. So they are not one you can actually get in the wild. So these must be the beginning of the specialty bees here. So we got stickies, which give you sticky propolis and latex, so you can get rubber out of them. The royal we already looked at, gives you royal jelly. Then you have soul combs, which if you can get them, they're going to be a mixture of something with the nether. Bees will actually give you soul sand oil, so you can use that for distillation to get fuel and all of that stuff. So lubricant, petroleum, propane, butane, kerosene, diesel, fuel, your paraffin wax, asphalt, and petroleum coke, you can all get out of the soul sand oil that you get from the soul combs. Again, they're nether, and they're also things that have to be bred to get there, because this is the goth, the occult, the antichrist, and the satanic. So those are probably, I would guess, nether and end maybe mixed together, but I'm sure it's up the line a little bit that you have to crossbreed. But again, I'm not sure. Don't take me on that. And then you have amnesic, which these give you amnesic wax, whatever that is, and lubricant. Military combs. I'm guessing these are going to hurt pretty bad, whatever bee gives them. But they'll give you bones, bone meal, rotten flesh, spider eyes, and harming brews. Pyrocombs are blaze powder, chance of blaze rods, and blazing goo again. Cryocombs is blizz rod, and crushed ice. You have your arrow combs, which is blitz powder, blitz rod, dragon's breath, and terra, which is basalt powder, rod, and wet concrete. So if anybody figures out a decent way to breed these, let me know. If anybody's had any decent chances of getting breeds, again, let me know. But as far as we have deemed it, it's a whole lot of work for not a whole lot that you get out of them. Although I do think I'm going to try to get a hold of some NBs and see just how viable it is getting tungsten and platinum out of them from the end stone. That does sound like something to give it a shot. And yeah, watch out, these guys will hurt you. Don't get too close. The other nice thing, if you've waited around this long for this long-winded discussion, the other nice thing about the bumblebees is, unlike forestry, where they will make whatever flowers they choose, these guys literally replicate the flower you put in there. So if I was to take all of these poppies out and put in one of these oxeye daisies, I would get all oxeye daisies in this circle, rounded, square area that I now have poppies. So if you want to use them for getting a certain color of flower for a certain dye, they're absolutely great for that. They do not work for too tall flowers, though. Like that rose bush over there, they will not work for those. Only one tall flowers work. And I think that's going to be about it for this video. If there's anything I forgot, let me know. Like I said, if there's anything I screwed up, I'm sure Greg will let me know. And I will either leave it down in the comments for you guys or I'll mention it in the next video. But that is about all I know about bees. If I ever get a good enough understanding of them and ability to breed them, I'll try to make a proper tutorial for them. But as of right now, I really have never taken the time to mess with them more than just putting them out here to make me flowers and making me honey because, well, I love my honey. Speaking of, I need to get some more. So with that, I will leave you guys for today. And I should have my AC that was so kindly purchased for me here very soon. Should be here on Wednesday. So hopefully I can get you guys out the video for making the acids for aluminum and properly getting aluminum done by the end of the week. Sorry on the shortness of videos. I'll be back with you as soon as possible. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.